everybody, welcome back to Best Life and Beyond. Big news, breaking news. Whoa.
This is something absolutely caught us off guard. We did not expect this at all, but
blindsided.
Basically today they announced, and they being Disney, Disneyland announced that they are actually going to be expanding the park. We have limited details, but they did release some concept art.
Yeah.
We don't know if this is actually going to be a third gate, aka like a separate park.
Right.
We do know there's plans for another parking structure.
Yeah.
This is just huge news. So we're going to kind of talk about it a little bit, like what our thoughts and reactions are.
Yeah.
Share the actual news for you, which, I mean, it's everywhere. It's all over the news.
A little bit of speculation, as it were, and they're calling this Disneyland Forward.
Yeah, Project Disneyland Forward.
Kind of the working title for what is happening. This isn't necessarily the name of the area or the areas that we're going to talk about. It's just the name of the project that they've announced.
Yeah. So first of all, let's show you this beautiful concept art and kind of give you an idea of where it's at. I know a few people will probably look at it and go, what am I looking at? So we're going to kind of show you, first of all, this is the full shot that they released, and as you can see, as you can see, it is backed up right. The first thing that caught my eye is it's kind of backed up right against that residential area. Now, where this actually is pretty much in the Simba parking lot area. If you look at where Disneyland Hotel is in there, and Paradise Pier Hotel is in this concept art right here.
And if you've been going to downtown Disney during the closure, the Simba parking lot is where you've been parking, so if that gives you any idea, that is where that volcano-like structure is with the moat around it.
You know what I think that might be, because they also released in this concept art that there's going to be a Pirates-themed kind of area for Peter Pan.
The Neverland area features 2 attractions. One, with the help of Tinkerbell, takes guests on a boat ride following the Lost Boys down the river. Oh my gosh. And the other one will be taking guests on a journey to the middle of Pixie Hollow where Tinkerbell and her fairy friends live. This area is also going to include a restaurant with spectacular views inspired by the Lost Boys' iconic hideout. Wow. There's also a Tangled area. There's Rapunzel's Tower overlooking a charming forest where guests are going to board it like a gondola to the Lantern Festival to live Rapunzel's best day ever with Flynn. Also, the restaurant where she befriended a band of thieves in the film is going to be featured there that you can eat at. So that's really cool. Yep, Frozen Land. It's got a restaurant set inside a castle, as well as, get this, a thrilling boat adventure as well.
I'm hoping it's similar to the Frozen ride over in Epcot.
We love that ride.
Yet again, just
great attraction.
Speculation. So we're not sure where those fall into this. Now, we were talking to our friend Dylan from Theme Park Obsession.
Yeah.
And he also does not think this will be a third gate because that area, while it is a very big area, it's not big enough to completely be a third gate in our opinion.
And I think the other point that was made also, we agreed, was that these properties, Peter Pan, Frozen, and Tangled, don't garner enough to make a third park necessarily, but maybe lands. They're worthy of lands for sure.
So Mice Chat actually released an article, and they talked about how it looks like they might be drawing inspiration from Tokyo's Fantasy Springs area.
Oh yeah. Kind of a mixed-use area.
Yeah,
right?
And Shanghai's Disneyland Zootopia project, kind of where it's like immersive, you know, storytelling type thing. So,
but it would include shopping. It would include hotels,
shopping, dining, all kinds of stuff.
Mixed use.
So the first thing you may be asking yourself is, how are they going to get the approval to do this? When, if you remember, several years ago or a few years ago, they couldn't. They've always had trouble. Disneyland has always had trouble getting approval for parking structures.
Yeah, and the Garden Walk side, they were going to do a huge situation over there.
What we're finding out, first of all, we think these are the 2 factors that may have brought about some change. Number 1, they're not asking for any kind of public funding. They're not asking for anything that
from the city.
Yeah, it's
a lot of times they'll partner up with the city and say, hey, you put up this much, we'll put up this much, and we'll both make out on the deal, because obviously the city of Anaheim will benefit from any endeavor that they, you know, take up, because they're going to tax them appropriately.
Yeah.
I think there was something with the Mickey and Friends parking lot like that for a long time, where the city of Anaheim was taking all the funds. There was some, I don't know the details, but it was like they were given all the revenue from the parking garage for the first certain amount of years as part of the deal. It was something like that. Don't quote me on that, but there was a deal made with the city for Mickey and Friends. So none of that stuff is happening. This is all going to be funded by Disney in-house.
Right, so they're actually working to outreach through the community and a bunch of other stuff. So that's making a big factor where they're actually in the process right now. That's why these are all just concept arts. None of these are, this is concept art. None of these are like concrete, this is what we're gonna do, because this is going to this is going to depend on the actual outreach that they do.
And as far as community outreach is concerned, they're going to be doing things like affordable housing. They're going to get involved in that. They're going to create a ton more jobs, obviously.
Yeah, this is actually going to really help out the city. Now, another thing that they're not doing, they're not asking for tax breaks or anything like that. Right. So I think the city of Anaheim is going to be more willing, especially after the pandemic, to help stimulate what's down there, because it took a very big hit this year.
It's probably, that's probably, this is just a guess on my part, but I bet you this is why they're going to approach this now, because they probably figure, hey, we've never been tighter with the city, and we're in this together, and this is a perfect time to...
So that kind of leads us into our second reason why we think it's going to be a different scenario from the first time, is because of what Spencer just kind of touched on. We think that everything that happened during the pandemic, it really did devastate, down there in Disneyland area, Anaheim. A lot of the Anaheim businesses, and it made for not a very pleasant neighborhood experience, I guess you could say. Right. It very much devastated it. So I think with Disney coming in saying, hey, let's work on this, let's find a way to integrate our living situations and our park, and make this just fantastic. Yeah. Now, also keep in mind, very close, I'm going to say, I don't know, within 5 miles is the Anaheim Angels Stadium. They're actually doing a project over there where they're expanding and doing shopping, dining, tons more housing and apartments. So I think just the city of Anaheim in general is trying to just really...
Well, they're trying to stimulate what's happening in the area, and I think they realize how important Disneyland is to that idea of community expansion and bringing the community up and increasing everything in the area. So that's a kind of a good approach. So I think that they won't have as many hurdles as they have in the past. We're hoping, because this artwork, this concept art looks amazing. And I know it's just a concept and we can't get too attached to it, but when I see things like look at this in this photo, there's like mountains and like water features and like everything you would want in a park, in a theme park, and the potential of Skull Island and all that is like, that's amazing.
Right.
That's we've always said, we've looked at these areas where there's these vast parking lots and all this space that Disney has, which they don't have a lot left in Anaheim, but what they do have, we've speculated a lot. We've sat across at Garden Walk, Adam and I, looked across at the parking lot where they're doing all the vaccinations right now and thought, man, they could do something with that right there, and then do parking underground, or we've always thought about that, and I'm sure Disney thinks about that a lot. So it's really cool to hear this news. It's a total shocker.
So that actually brings us into the second part of this expansion that was announced, and it looks like over in the Toy Story parking lot, like Spencer said, where they're actually doing the vaccination site right now, that is also going to get an expanded shopping, dining. It looks like there's a hotel. Yeah. This was another concept art piece that we found here. It looks like almost like a, I don't know, it's almost like the beach club setup almost. When I looked at it, when I originally saw it, that's what I looked at it and saw.
Because there's like a giant lagoon. Look at that. Yeah,
it's almost like a, I'm not sure. We're not 100% sure about what it could be. It did say it's going to kind of serve like the area for the convention center, which that is kind of a short walk away.
Yeah, because there'll be hotels. Yeah. There'll be shopping, all tied in the center by this green space and lagoon, which is kind of the centerpiece of the entire project. But like a hotel wrapping around.
Yeah, so is that lagoon like a pool area for the hotel? I'm not sure. We're not 100% sure yet. Maybe just a visual feature,
who knows?
Yeah, it does look pretty big, which leads me to believe that it should be something like a a pool kind of area. Again, I got beach club vibes when I looked at it.
I don't know if it's going that route, but
I don't know, but hey, it totally gave me beach club vibes, and I would be 100% down for that.
And the cool thing is that was the area that originally was pegged years ago for a third gate.
Yeah, a lot of people speculated a water park. That was pretty big talk for quite some time.
So we always knew that something would happen over there. It's interesting that this project on both the west and the east side is being announced at once. I mean, that's massive. Usually they would kind of do one at a time, but this is a huge endeavor.
So now you may be asking now, what are they going to do about parking? Because we're seeing all these expansions. What's going to happen?
Where do you park everybody?
First of all, they have parking over at the Pixar Pals parking structure. We have the Mickey and Friends parking structure, which, hey, they could even build up if they really wanted to, I believe. But what they're planning on doing is, if you're familiar over on Harbor, which we'll put up this map right here for you, it's right in front of the 5 freeway, but right over there, they are planning on putting a parking structure right there. So it's kind of like behind IHOP-ish kind of area.
Yeah, behind some of those local hotels. Then they would use a bridge to get people over to the Esplanade, like a secured walking bridge. It would be similar to the Pixar Pals bridge that we have, going into downtown Disney, but obviously significantly larger based on the distance that parking structure would be from the resort. But same idea.
So the best part about this for me is I love to go to the resorts, and it looks like we're still going to have Paradise Pier, which I think they may retheme, because if you look at where it's at, it's right in the middle of that expansion.
Right.
Disneyland Hotel, I think that'll stay pretty much the same. If anything, get more of an upgrade possibly. Not that it needs it, in my opinion. And then it looks like we're going to have a DVC hotel, which they originally had talked about. That's been announced. I'm sure they're going to get a DVC resort there.
That's something that's needed.
Yeah, the Grand Cal just cannot,
Because how many rooms do they have for DVC
not
over
enough.
there? Like
not
very
enough.
few. It's not really enough to really say it's a resort.
But it looks like that'll still be there.
Yeah.
And then of course it looks like they're just adding a couple more resorts. So I mean, even if we got about 1 or 2 more resorts, that would make a huge difference for the Disneyland property. I mean, we need it. Now back over to the parking situation. It looks like Pixar Pals will stay, as well as Mickey and Friends.
Of course.
And like Spencer said, we'll have that bridge coming from the possible new parking structure. Now that's a great place to put a parking structure, in my opinion, because a lot of people come from that side of the freeway.
Yeah, they would call that structure, because now we have Mickey and Friends, right? We have Pixar Pals.
Who knows?
Avengers. Would it be a Marvel parking lot? Because it's on the side. It would be the Marvelous parking lot.
Hey.
Because it's on that side.
Yeah.
Closer to. And they
we will have Avengers Campus.
And then each of the floors would be characters, like I'm on Spider-Man.
One of the Avengers.
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
You heard it here. I don't know. You never know.
It's a good thought.
Yeah.
All we know is it's going to be something so exciting. We can't wait. Now, remember, all of this is very fluid. This is all proposals that Disney is making. And again, I know that we've had this happen before, where it was like, oh, dang it, they announced this and then it couldn't happen. But times change. This pandemic changed a lot.
Yeah.
And, I really feel good about this. I do.
Yeah, because like you're saying, though, from concept to reality, a lot goes on. There's a lot of things that have to adjust, and, they got to get out the eraser and change the concept. And, like I think you were even speaking of the hotel that was supposed to go in over there at the end of downtown Disney. That whole project scrapped, and they spent probably quite a bit of money on all of that concept and all those things. But
well, yeah, we had shut down Rainforest Cafe, we shut down ESPN Zone,
the
AMC
plan
movie
was
theater. But hey,
pretty much a go.
Look at that though. If you look back at the concept art, and you can see there, those buildings, they're going to actually be put to use.
As far as this concept art, they're still in existence. They're still there. Yeah.
Well, I don't think they'll be what they were, like
but the
Rainforest
buildings
Cafe,
themselves
but the buildings
are there.
They'll actually be used.
Yeah.
And I know you're saying right now is, oh, the trading outpost is there. I don't know if that was supposed to be a permanent thing. I always said, I'm like, you know what, I'm just happy that building's getting put to use, because we've been going to Disneyland pretty much weekly for years after that closed, and it's like walking past those empty buildings is kind of sad. And I know they did pop-ups over at ESPN Zone, but like the movie theater, we have so many good memories there, and it's time to make more.
It's sad when you think of the fact that one of the biggest problems Disneyland has is space. And then you see a ton of space unused, and you go, come on, you know, and so that's why this is such an amazing thing. Now that whole area from the gate behind ESPN Zone all the way to Mickey and Friends is going to be utilized?
Yeah.
Wow.
So basically if you're going from Mickey and Friends all the way over to Simba, it's going to be used. And we're actually talking about even working on Downtown Disney, because if you're going to where the monorail is and the Legoland store, it looks like there's some sort of a water feature there, I think. So kind of in front of where Trading Post is now, right? Is that kind of where it is? Yes, yeah.
Oh yeah, they're definitely creeping into that west part of Downtown Disney, because if you look, the movie theater, Earl of Sandwich, all of that is gone. They've taken that whole zone right there. Look at that. And then they're connecting that into that other area, which is currently the Simba parking lot. That whole zone where you wait in line to get into Downtown Disney right now. All of that's going to be the connection point right there.
It's going to be actually probably creeping into Downtown Disney more than we think. I mean, this is just wild. I keep looking at this and I can't.
Insane.
I can't. My brain is not fully processed it. I'm still in a bit of a state of shock.
Right.
I don't know about you.
Here's some just some numbers as far as Disney California Adventure. Once they had the concept and everything nailed down, construction took 5 years.
You mean from shovel, like from when they actually
broke ground
okay.
till the park was open? It took 5 years. If that gives you any indication of kind of the time frame it takes to do something of this nature, you know, probably 5 to 7 years. Plus, you've got 2 projects going at once. Are they going to do one
well,
and
actually,
then the other?
3 if you include the parking structure.
True. And are they going to be simultaneous, or are these projects going to be in phases?
Yeah.
Because DCA was in phases, and it took 5 years. So.
But you know what that is going to tell us? That by come time for D23 Expo, boy, are we going to have some awesome announcements.
Yeah,
and
hopefully.
I am here for it. Oh, we will.
Yeah.
We will, for sure. This is awesome, and I think the reason they announced it is because, first of all, if they're involving the community so much, I think, you know, it definitely would get leaked out, and, you know, not only that, it's like, hey, we're doing this, and I think they'd like the support of everybody, too, probably.
It's on, and it's funny because, like you said, coming out of this nightmare that we've been in the past year, what a big, bright light. And I wonder, you know what I wonder, is if this idea was probably being talked about and planned probably before the nightmare happened in the world and everything had to get put on hold, and now it's back on the table, because it has to have been, like, that took a long time to conceive that. So
right.
It's kind of cool that, like, that's another sign that things are coming back strong. Like, I mean strong. That's bold.
Yeah, this is huge. This is the biggest Disney news we've had in years. This is massive.
Yeah.
This is massive.
Yeah.
So you guys, if you have any thoughts, please leave us a comment below.
Yeah.
If you have any questions, again, comment below. We'll surely be talking about this for years to come, but this is the first, this was our reaction. This is it. We have a state of shock.
Stoked.
I'm excited. I can't, I'm honestly in a state of shock right now.
I just want to go to Skull Island. Like, I really want to go to Skull Island now. Like, if that's a real thing.
Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, let us know by giving it a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss all these fabulous updates and our opinions.
Oh, yeah.
And, of course, we're going to be there for years to come.
Yeah, and we will see you guys next time on Best Life and Beyond. Bye-bye, everybody.